Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch for the first two races of the season in the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. It's been a long winter for competitors, extended by the postponement of the first two rounds scheduled for Donington Park in March due to snow. But better weather greets us at the 1.2 mile Kent Speed Bowl, and well over 30 competitors are in attendance. I talked to pre-season favourite Matt Palmer, but first the 750 Motor Club's MR2 Formula official. Patrick Mortell, we're looking ahead to the new season for the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. For those who haven't seen this before, what's it all about?
Well, MR2 racing is a very good way to get into motorsport. We start with a road-going Toyota MR2, which is mid-engine and rear-wheel drive. It's a proper sports car from the factory. Strip out all the parts that we don't need, add in some safety gear, just enough performance parts to make it fun, and that's it in a nutshell.
And I understand there's more than one class in the championship.
Yeah, we run three classes in total. You'll actually only see the Mark II and the Mark III classes represented at the moment. The Mark II is the earlier, slightly heavier vehicle with the more powerful 2-litre engine. The later cars are 1.8 litre, so less powerful, but they have a limited slip differential and a lighter chassis.
And what's the format for the races this season?
Races this season are going to be double headers, so we'll come in, we'll qualify, and then two individual races, both of which count towards the total points.
So Matt Palmer, you're one of the front runners from the MR2 Championship last year and here to have a crack at the title for 2013, I guess.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping to build on our successes from last year. I feel as though we could have been challenging for more race wins if we'd have spent more time testing, but the majority of the rounds we turned up on the Saturday, and the first time out on track was qualifying, and we hadn't been to the track in over a year. So we ended up qualifying in the third, fourth row in most races and having to battle through. It worked out all right though, because we managed to get a race win, but around some tracks the front pack managed to pull away from us and we couldn't close up.
So how long now have you been racing in the championship?
This is going to be my third year now. We got top rookie in my first year, and then second year was sort of the surprise package, because I don't think me or my granddad thought we'd be so close to the sharp end of the field, but it was a nice pleasant surprise.
Well, it's been a race against time for Matt Palmer to take up his pole position. He suffered a broken alternator drive belt during qualifying. Alex Knight lines up next to him on the front of the grid. Mick Nicholls and Stuart Nicholls in their roadsters on row 2. Further back, Robert Wells and Paul Grimmett on the fourth row of the grid. Luke Austin disappointed to be back on row number 5. Nigel Ralphson on row 7 is an ex-Fiat racer. Look out for Paul Flinders and Mark Snelling from the 9th row of the grid. Then further back, Clive Morford, he was a strong contender last season, so was Matthew Wallace. They're both on row 10 of the grid this weekend. Ryan Connolly, a newcomer, on row 12. Mark Barber and David Rowe lining up on the 13th row of the grid. Jim Davis, disappointingly far back, a lack of power on his roadster in qualifying. With two reserves altogether, we're going to have 32 cars that take the start of this first round of the season for the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. We're looking back from Stuart Nicholls' car on the outside of row 2, on board with him now, and away we go. The lights have gone out, and Stuart getting a slightly better start than his father there. You can see Matt Palmer's car not that quickly away, but a brilliant start from Alex Knight. He's well into the lead of the race already. He's got about 4 car lengths on the rest of the field as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. This is on board with Kristian White then. He started on row 5 of the grid, next to Luke Austin, who's already up ahead of him. And they arrive at Dridge for the first time, and Matt Palmer retakes the lead from Alex Knight there. Some cement dust being kicked up, that's been laid down after oil was dropped in an earlier race, but it's Palmer that's leading. Alex Knight in second place. Looking back from Stuart Nicholls' car, that's the number 23 machine of Tim Heron just behind us as they make their way up towards Surtees for the first time. It's a 13-minute plus 1 lap race, and look at those two Rogue Motorsport Run Roadsters go. The blue and white cars of father and son, Mick and Stuart Nicholls. And it's the 89 car of Mick, the dad, that's ahead, and he's challenging Alex Knight for the lead as they come up to end lap 1, but already Matt Palmer pulling out something of an advantage. He was the thick end of a second faster than everybody else in qualifying this morning before his problems. But when someone making a mistake there, was that Ben Rowe? Possibly it was, just locking up the brakes around Paddock Hill Bend. Back on board with Kristian White in the number 28 car, tucked in behind Paul Grimmett at the beginning of this lap. And 200s they go, and dropping down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend on this 1.2 mile Indy circuit. Oh, look at that car go. I think that's John Wilson that has made up a place. Yes, it is. So John Wilson, he's been a podium finisher in MR2 championship races in the past, having a reconcerted effort on the championship this year. Through Surtees and McLaren, it looks like Timothy Heaven's trying to make a move there on Stuart Nicholls in the number 88 car. Through Clearways and towards Clark Curve they now go. A great field. There's a spinner there in the background though, and a penalty board there. That's the 10-second penalty board, I think, being shown to Alex Knight, who made such a good start to this race, running in second position at the moment. The spinner we could see there was the number 92 car of Dan Holmes, who started mid-grid. And Matt Palmer, all kinds of problems here. You can hear the noise there, and that sounds like a big gearbox or clutch problem for our race leader Matt Palmer, and surely he's going to lose his advantage now. There goes Alex Knight to take the lead of the race now. Was that just a missed gear? I rather fancy that it was something rather more serious, and Matt Palmer may lose more places here. Here's Luke Austin, the Northamptonshire driver, trying to make a move around the outside there, going into Paddock Hill Bend, but not making that work. He's out there, as ever, in his familiar car number 44. Matt Palmer now under pressure, we should say, from one of the roadsters. It looks like it's Stuart Nicholls, I beg your pardon, that's gone through. But Matt Palmer, yes, that car not sounding at all healthy, it must be said, and he's losing ground as they go down the straights. The roadsters usually faster through the corners than the Mark IIs, the older, heavier cars, but the Mark IIs with their greater power can make that up in a straight line, and he's trying to make it back up here ahead of the number 88 car of Stuart Nicholls, but can't make it work there, can't Matt Palmer. He's still going, but into the pits goes Luke Austin. So Luke Austin has hit trouble. Well, he seemed to be going all right. He'd improved on his grid position. He's off into the pit lane, I'm afraid. Oh my word. That's not sounding at all healthy now, is it, for Matt Palmer? And yes, I think he's slowing up there. I don't think he's much longer for this race. Yes, he pulls onto the grass. And the pre-season favourite, who missed the last two rounds of last year's championship at Mallory Park due to an engine failure in testing, is out of the first race of 2013. Well, that leaves Alex Knight out front, but of course we saw a few moments ago he's had that 10-second penalty. That's for a jump start. We saw how much ground he'd made up over everybody else going into Paddock Hill Bend. Certainly it wasn't a great start for Matt Palmer. It was a good start for Alex Knight, but was it worthy of a 10-second penalty? He's well ahead now as Alex Knight, but he's going to have to pull out 10 seconds of an advantage over the rest of the field now. It's about 3 seconds at the moment over in second place, number 89 Mick Nicholls. In third place, number 88 Stuart Nicholls. And then the next car through there is the number 7 car of Ben Rowe, the driver that comes all the way from Holsworthy in Devon. Been racing in this championship for 6 or 7 seasons now. Ways there or thereabouts. What's really interesting to see this weekend, though, is the strength of these roadsters. Oh, what a spin! Oh, and that's the number 24 car of Martin Farrelly, the man from Hampshire, very nearly collecting another driver. There's other cars that go off in avoidance as well. That's the number 83 machine of William Gallagher that has now gone ploughing through the gravel trap. He's going to rejoin, but he's lost quite a bit of time because of that. Now here's a challenge. It's Ben Rowe that looks to be making a move here on the 89 car of Mick Nicholls now. So Stuart Nicholls is up ahead. That has been a change round, but these two side by side for second place. Ben Rowe on the inside line for Paddock Hill Bend, and he goes through. So Mick Nicholls, who was in P2, now down to P4. He's lost out on a position to his son. Now he's lost out to Ben Rowe as well. Well, this is Dan Holmes in the number 92 car on his recovery drive. Simon Wallace as well, involved in that scrap, car number 73, as they make their way up towards Paddock Hill Bend once more. We're getting towards the closing stages of this race now, and you can see that the Nicholls cars there are going, oh, what a spin for the slower car. That's the back marker, number 42, Andrew Franklin, I should say, goes into the gravel. I think that was Stuart Nicholls that very nearly got caught up with all of that. Now, I think what that has meant is that Mick Nicholls has gone through, has he? Ben Rowe looks to be up to second position for the moment then, behind Alex Knight, who's still only about 4 seconds up the road. We said he needed to be 10 seconds clear. There's Andrew Franklin. He's well beached in the gravel and out of the race, I'm afraid. Lots of great action going on all the way down the field. This is the 26 car at the head of the group. That is Paul Grumet. 85 involved as well, and it's very tight there with Nigel Ralphson. The ex-Fiat racer also involved is Kristian White, a newcomer in car number 28. Qualified pretty well, 9th on the grid. These three making their way down to the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Some great scraps down the field. It seems to be all the black coloured cars involved in this particular battle. Kristian White there making a move. Oh no, he's got Surtees wrong, and he tucks back in behind Nigel Ralphson's number 85 car. Here's another view then from on board. Yeah, I got that all wrong, didn't he, on the approach to the corner. Saw the gap, tried to go for it, ended up getting rather crossed up. Well, the scrap for second place on the road has come alive, but of course this could be the battle for victory overall, and Mick Nicholls spins! Mick Nicholls was on for outright victory there on corrected times. Here's the replay of it, around Druids. And just spun it around. I think there was no doubt that he was feeling the pressure there, because Ben Rowe and his son Stuart Nicholls were right up behind him. Mick Nicholls, as a result of that, loses a few places. On to the final lap of the race then, but problems, I'm afraid, for number 32, Paul Flinders, in the Blitz Motorsport car. He looks to be hors de combat. Now, all of that shenanigans on the previous lap has meant that it is Stuart Nicholls then, that is effectively in the lead of the race, because Alex Knight is still not far enough clear. On board with Stuart Nicholls now, a glance in the mirrors, just seeing where everybody else is. Through Clearways, through Clark Curve, and out onto the start and finish straight, where the checkered flag is out. And the checkered flag waves, and victory then goes to Alex Knight on the road. But Stuart Nicholls, I think we'll find, will be credited with the win after the application of that penalty. And here is the confirmation of the results. Stuart Nicholls beating Ben Rowe by 1.3 seconds. Timothy Heron in the end up to third with that spin for Mick Nicholls that dropped him back to 8th position. Fastest lap went to Matthew Palmer. So Stuart, I think you're a little bit surprised to find out you've won that race.
It's taken me completely by surprise, but you know, it was a great race. I thoroughly enjoyed every single second of it. I had everything in that race. A back marker spinning in front of me, the lot.
Yeah. And you had a bit of a race with your dad as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that's always a little bit tight when you start battling with your old man, but it was good clean. He knew when I had him and stuff, so no, I enjoyed that.
And he had a bit of a moment at the end, didn't he, think?
He did, spinning out of Druids, and then I was just, to be honest, I can't quite remember everything that's happened now. I just remember Alex disappearing, and I was like, I'm not going to catch him, and then here I am, so top step, amazing.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, there's another race to come at Brands Hatch, so join us after the break.